Hello people of YouTube, Lucky Mies 205 over here, or Lucky Mies, and this time we're gonna review Ironblood U-552 and what I managed to find according to history records, one of the luckiest submarines in the Kriegsmarine. Now, before we go deeper to the ship, if you want to support content like this, subscription and hitting the like button can do the job for the YouTube algorithm and so forth. But what is U-552 history? Well, she was ordered 25th September 1939, laid down 1st December 1939 in Blochem and Voss in Hamburg. She was launched 14 September 1940 and commissioned 4th December 1940. And it was recorded that she had 15 patrols. And successes, according to the research, seems to show that she did 30 ships sunk, total tonnage 163,756 cross-register tons, 1 auxiliary ship sunk, 1 warship sunk, and 3 ships damaged. Now I tried to find out what was that one warship, and well, according to this information, it says on 31st October 1941, 552 was hunting an eastbound convoy HX 156 and roughly, well, 5:25 maybe hours, something like that, torpedoed one of the escorts. The ship's magazine exploded and the ship sank rapidly. She was the destroyer USS Reuben James and was the first US Navy ship lost in hostile action in World War II. Now, I haven't done any research related to Reuben James yet, but according to this occurred nearly 6 weeks before war was declared between Germany and United States, although US Navy ships had been escorting convoys and attacking U-boats for months before that. Now, what is her final fate? Decommissioned in February 1945, she was scuttled on 5th May 1945 at Wilhelmshaven, western entrance of Reader's Close, but she was wrecked up. Excuse me, mispronouncing it there. She was broken up. And this information is from the U-boat.net, related to U-boat histories. And this was the quickest history related stuff I managed to find about the 556. Now, what about her game design? Well, she's been in a game for a while now. You can actually get her at the Neon City Investigator event. Not in Ironblood event, but some kind of side event? Free time event? I don't know. Anyway, her rigging. Very simplified. Just a very beautiful shark. You can see the torpedoes over there, very simple. The very shark head, the Ironblood is known of. And then we have 556, the character herself. Swimsuit design. Are these 2 pieces? Like a 1 piece, the main body, and then we have a leggings? I don't know. 3 parts maybe, because we have hands over there as well, or sleeves. I'm not good with the pronunciations or English vocabulary. Well, words. How to say these clothing parts. But that's not all. She also has very unique, well, I'll say very few ship girls already have this, And she is now one of them with 2 different eye colors. One is blue and one is wine red, I think. Which honestly, I'm very interested in. Let me know, is there any real person out there with 2 eye colors? Very interesting indeed. Of course she has her own skin. Unfortunately, I didn't give her this skin. But very decent and very well made, I have to admit. Special Sightseeing Service is the skin's name. Now then, we have now done some character design reviews. Now let's dive deeper into the stats, shall we? As you can see, I haven't ordered her yet, but let's go with the numbers here, because it seems, according to Wiki, these are the exact stats I have right now. In 125, she gets 1,338. Excuse me, my English after the work. 1,338 HP. Well, firepower, you can do something with it, but it's just for decorations. But 61. Her oxygen is 188. Her luck is 52, which is rather interesting because she was very lucky submarines that had actually very successful career. I don't know why she was given 52. Her torpedoes is 567. Very decent, very good, they can do something. She gets 2 ammunitions. Her cost is 7. Her reload is 112. Her evasion is 38. Her accuracy is 206. And her speed is 14. And of course there is also tech related stuff. But that's on the other day. So she's a very decently well built submarine. Ironblood standards. Now then, let's go with her armament. Her first slot torpedo is, well, she gets 2 torpedoes. 125%, and the second one is 120%, which is very some degree common to Ironblood submarines. Her secondary gun is 85%, which is very questionable, but understandable. She's a submarine. Now let's go with the skills. She gets, well, let's just say with the 3. Now, the Rotter Teufel, or how should I pronounce this in English? Is this German way to pronounce it? But either way. Excuse me. Rotter Teufel, I'm gonna just go with the Finnish way. When the battle starts, this is offensive skill. This boat will surface for 10 seconds and perform surface attacks during this duration. After which she will dive and leave the battle. Gains 100 speed while leaving battle. During these surface attacks, this boat takes 60% reduced damage and launches level 10 special barrage every 3 seconds. Damage is based on the skill's level. Enemies hit by this barrage take 10% more damage from this boat for 10 seconds. Does not stack. Now, when I first time heard this, I was very baffled and surprised that you're giving us a submarine who throws away the possibility to survive just by staying underwater, but making her 60% more tankier to survive. But then we also have to consider these very small thing, and that is launches level 10 special barrage every 3 seconds. And see, there's only 10 seconds on the surface. Closely 4 or just 3 perhaps, I don't know. Oh, just 3. Let's go with 3 barrages. Now, of course he will retreat, but that's a very dangerous time gap, just 10 seconds to be on the surface if we are talking about submarine standards. HP. Now then, this does not stack, but taking 10% more damage. But then we have Wolfpack Tactics U-552. Increases the damage this boat deals to light armor enemies by 10%. Additionally, increases this boat's torpedo evasion by 5% for every armor submarine in the fleet. Which is either 10% or 15%, I do not know. And then we have All Out Assault. When this boat leaves the battle, activates All Out Assault 552 Mark II firing special barrage that is guaranteed to critically hit. Probably based on what happened to that one destroyer. If another armor submarine is in the same fleet, improves this barrage. Improve All Out Assault. Now how does it look like over here? Just 4 torpedoes slowly moving forward. Now, I have some experience with these. They can work if they hit something. But if you have 4 torpedoes that have critical hit, then maybe perhaps that's acceptable. I don't know about you, but understandable. Now, as for my torpedo submarine build over here, I'm gonna use Mark 12 ferry submarine torpedo, and this is from Royal Navy. As you can see, it fires 3 every 18 or 17 seconds. And then we have Mark 16 torpedo, which does a very decent good amount of damage, but every 23 or 24 seconds, how do we want to put it? And the speed is 3, and the other ones has 3.5. Now, as for my auxiliary, I have Type 23 Pure Oxygen Torpedo, which is from Sakura Empire, and pressure-resistant hull design, gives extra torpedo, half HP, and of course I almost forgot. Let's go back to the Dwight 93 Ultra Rare, which gives, well, it's not complete, but 10 reload if I recall, and 100 torpedoes if I recall. Can we enchant? Yes, I did recall it correctly. Now with the pressure-resistant hull design, it gives a skills that is improve hull design, increases submarine speed by 20% and moves it forward another 8 units after it enters battle, and this is from the Iron Blood. And I also gave her some HE ammunition. Twin 127mm secondary gun mount from the Eagle Union. Just for the fun sakes. I did have Iron Blood AP gun, but then I decided to give her the HE one. Of course, I gave her Augment Module, which is a dagger. Gives hit 15 and 18 evasion. And modified effect, which is critical targeting. Increases this ship's torpedo critical rate by 10%, which is something we really need for the submarine fella like this. And about the skill we have over here about Rotter Teufel, which I almost forgot. This is a redrawn, or the a little less details about the logo, or what was the word again with this? Submarines have. This is a running demon design that the real submarine used, which is rather very nice. You don't see these. These are kind of rare. What I have seen in the Azur lane, these are kind of rare that we can see the actual logo that a real ship used. The other ones are either from the in the ship girl themselves, which is sometimes common, but in the skills is the another thing. And with this, I think we are done with the U-552. And with the fleet I'm gonna use her, we have 96, which gives us the increases accuracy 10% and critical damage by 15% for all your armed submarines, which is something we really actually need. For something like 552. And 2501. She doesn't give much for the other submarines, if I recall correctly, other than keep buffing herself. But I have noticed that her hunting range is very efficient, which is something I want to actually utilize. And with this build, we also have a steel MIOV officer, torpedoes and hunting range, increase the damage dealt to enemy fleets while in attack mode based on tactic stats, and also we have Sentinel of the Sea, gives extra stuff to the submarines, and of course we can also use meta ships to increase our submarines damage dealt or all that. But either way, I think we are done here. This was a rather very long one, but don't worry, this is gonna be very short. My final opinions about 552. So, see you in the next part. Hello, good people. Lucky Mies. Voiceover here. And U-556. Now I will say about the barrage that happens every time that light tech Gulfer, excuse me, let me check that again. Roter Teufel, that was the name. I'm gonna read this skill again. When the battle starts, this boat will surface for 10 seconds and perform surface attacks during this duration, after which she will dive and leave the battle. During these surface attacks, this boat takes 60% reduced damage and launches level 10 special barrage every 3 seconds. Damage is based on skill level. Enemies hit by this barrage take 10% more damage from this boat for 10 seconds. Now I did some quick testing. How does this barrage look like? And quite honestly, it just looks like how should I say it? Fire 6 torpedoes in quick succession, or quick timing, how do you say it in English? And what I could manage to see in a challenge mode, there was, well, either 12 torpedoes totally, like 6 on the first, and second one also has 6. Now this also skill mentions launches level 10 special barrage every 3 seconds. So I think I was slightly right about firing 3 barrages. And also the second one is all-out assault. If another Arabos submarine is in the same fleet, improves this barrage. I am not quite sure how does this improved barrage look like. But either way, when I did use her in with the other Ironboard ships, but I haven't checked out her sailing with either alone or either non-Ironboard submarines. Hard to say differences. But let's put these barrages and torpedoes aside, because I will say, by personal experience with this 552, is that she's very decently good submarine for a Type 7. Now there are some, although Type 7 is mass produced and there are other variations, but 552 personally is decently well built submarine, despite the fact that she is taking a huge risk by surfacing. And when the submarines is surface and there are like, shall we say, more than 5 enemy ships, combination of heavy cruisers, cruisers and then destroyers, and probably perhaps dozens of airplanes. Well, maybe aircraft carrier or a battleship, that depends on a map. And they're like, oh, an enemy ship, let's fire a full barrage of HE shells towards it. Now, to be fair, she has that 60% damage reduction, which is fine. But because she's taking so big risk there, there's a chance that she might lose, very unluckily, a half of her HP with just a good hit from enemy HE salvo. But if that happens to have AP or a normal, well, let's go with the AP. Well, AP goes straight to the light armor, so she's questionably fine. But when the light normal shell hits compared to the HE, well, 2 of them is enough to knock this ship out of the water. And tactically, the question is where this ship is good at it, or is she worth the risk to play? Now, as you can see in the footage I have right here, there are occasions where she can actually outperform even 2501. Now, because this is gonna get very long review video, so I did 2 voyages or 2 paddles. Well, either way, so she did occasionally, but that depended on where the enemies were. Could she land those torpedoes? Because those actually tells more her performance. So like, yeah, she can outperform even Ironblood's ultra rare submarine if the enemies are in good position, that is. Now that was a long way to put it. No wonder. Because how well she performs, she has to trade something, which is unfortunately sad that she has to take this huge risk that can lead to her getting sunk. Which is why I highly recommend to be very careful where you want to deploy her. Like, let's just say if you happen to have a... I'm not sure about map 14 or 15. There are some really lots of enemies. Stay underwater has way more efficient. But I also had the experience just with chapter 13. Oh boy. Well, either way, 13. Chapter 13. When she surfaced, and I noticed her HP quite low, I had to put my vanguard in the position to defend her. I am not sure is that efficient or smart move, but I wanted to just keep her long enough alive to actually make her survive to the flagship battle at least. Now, as for her equipment, I'm not sure about the... well, I like the torpedoes I gave her for now, which happens to have Mark 12 ferry submarine, and then Mark 16 submarine torpedo. Now I do prefer the fastest one by speed, by 3.5 speed, and the other one has just 3 knots. I don't know how to calculate this in the Azur lane, but either way, the idea of having fast torpedoes is fine. I also noticed because they help her to hit fast, although the damage is lackluster, but the map Mark 16 compensates for that. Although the reload is astonishingly long compared to the Mark 12. But once she does have a chance to fire Mark 16 and they hit something, that's actually what should be counted. But because her skill is dependent, her damage is, if I understood everything correctly, by the skills, and of course the Halas assault. I don't know, she's a very interesting submarine by all consideration, and combat experience with her. Once she appears again in the future, I highly recommend giving her maybe both Mark 12 ferry submarine torpedoes just for the speed's sake. Reload is decent, or you just go with the brutal strength and with the Mark 16, or you could just grind and give her G7E improved submarine torpedo, which is also fine. Although the difference between G7E improved and Mark 16 is that both gives 180 damage, but Mark 16 has 181 and the other has 182, but in return Mark 16 fires 3 torpedoes and G7E improved ultra rare iron torpedoes fires only 2, so although the reload is very nice, I don't know. I don't know, how do you want to build this thing once he returns again? But she is very interesting submarine. She actually requires a lot more thinking where you should deploy her and when. And how do you want to build your submarine fleet is also depending on how do you want to build it. So I am not sure. I am not sure. Is she good or bad? As I now repeated myself, I am not sure. She seems very good, which is promising, but sacrificing just by surfacing for 10 seconds and getting a bunch of HE fire, that can change the roll dice, or just a roll dice. Will she survive or not? But that's actually all I can think of about 552. Now if you found this video informative, hit the like button, and also if you want to see more content like this, subscription does the thing. My name is HakiMies205. Thank you so much for watching, and please take care of yourselves. See you next time.
虫けらの分際で私と指揮官にちょっかいを出さないことね。